Oops. Starting. Okay. There we go. Running a little late this morning. I was multitasking, watching Life After 55 Allison, my friend, catching up on her videos. And if you've never seen her, she is quite the character. Good morning, Kelly. I was just talking about Life After 55 Allison. I was watching some of her videos, and now I'm running late. So I ran up the steps here, and I'm here. Oh. And I guess some of my neighbors are still putting their trash out. Thank you for giving me a like, Kelly. Appreciate it. Oh. Looks like we'll have a little bit of sunrise today. I don't know. Never know what to expect. I try to support my friends and subscribers on here. It's hard to keep up. So again, I was up all night watching videos. Oh, here I am. Okay. So Kelly, how did your meetings go yesterday, honey? Are you having to go out again today, or? Oh, okay. Good morning. Running a little late today. As I thank you for the like. I was watching videos of various people, and the last one I was watching, I said, "Oh, it's 6 o'clock." It went well. Okay, so you learned stuff there. It's nice when it's a productive meeting. It's not one of those sit there and just waste your time. But then you get your hours for your. You have to get hours for your teaching license as well? Oh, good. It's nice when it's like that. Kelly, what grade do you teach? I wasn't sure if you taught primary or intermediate or junior high. Was it junior high? I don't know. I could never teach like high school. I did junior high for 2 years, and that was enough for me. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We had some rain again last night. It's better when it rains at night. I was watching some videos of people, that I know that subscribe. I go through my list to see, who needs support. So if you need support, let me know and I'll watch your videos. I'm usually up all night. Trying to get these. I put the book in a plastic bag because I leave them on the porch so I don't have to leave from the front of the house because, the dogs have their little tantrum. And I don't want them to get wet. It's been raining so much. Oh. Oh, okay. You're with the little ones like me. I just love, you're like with 3 and 4s, right? Okay. All right, I see. Kelly says it counted toward a flex day. We're required to do 3 days per year outside of the contracted hours. All right. And she said she teaches special ed preschool. Okay, I like the little ones. They're great. So I ran late, so I'm going to start now. My finger in the book, and we'll see where it takes us. So shuffle the book here. Okay. Um, Come away with me for a while. The world with its nonstop demands can be put on hold. Most people put me on hold, rationalizing that someday they will find time to focus on me. But the longer people push me into the background of their lives, the harder it is for them to find me. You live among people who glorify busyness. They have made time a tyrant that controls their lives. Even those who know me as Savior tend to march to the tempo of the world. They have they have bought me into the illusion that more is always better. More meetings, more programs, more activity. I have called you to follow me on a solitary path, making time alone with me your highest priority and deepest joy. It is a pathway largely unappreciated and often despised. However, you have chosen the better thing, which will never be taken away from you. Moreover, as you walk close to me, I can bless others through you. And that is Song of Songs 2:13 and Luke 10:42. Wow, this is like I was just telling my husband this because we used to always, before he left in the morning, we would always pray together because I always believe that a family that prays together stays together, right? So I would always pray with my sons and my husband, all of us together. And when my nieces and nephews would stay over, we would always, you know, everybody was in my room. They all like to lay in my bed. I don't know. I had a big bed, and the dogs, everybody's in there. So, hey, Tony. Tony says, Sally, are you grill? Hey, yes, lovely reading. Thank you. What does grill mean? I'm sorry. Excuse my ignorance. I don't know what that means. Thank you, Kelly. But we would always I don't know if you ever heard of family that stays together or prays together, stays together, but so Daryl and I, we've been skipping our readings in the morning because we used to do it together, and I don't know. I'm like, are we doing? He's I'll do because he has a book that he likes to do um, on his own. If we forget to do it, but we never do forget. But lately, he's just been kind of blowing it off. So um, I usually do by myself now, but I think I'm gonna have to get that back in because we always did that together. Um, we no matter where we were, even when my mom was alive and we were little, wherever we went, even on vacation, she always found a Catholic church to go to. We always had to go to church, even on vacation, and that's the way I was too. When we would go on vacation, when the kids were little, but whenever all the things happened, when I taken my mom to chemo, and I was using my own PTO. Um, um, my mom had chemo every other Tuesday, and she would get chemo there, and I'd be there from morning until probably like 9:30 at night, and then she'd go home with 2 days worth of a different kind of chemo. Um, so it was entailing. It was a long day, you know, and I guess my principal, which was a nun, um, she at the end of the year told me that she won't be needing me anymore. But meanwhile, her mother was sick, and she took time off to be with her mother, because she was with us here in Pittsburgh, but her home, where her mother was in Bethlehem, PA. So she was allowed to have time, and another teacher, she was allowed to have time too, but I didn't see the problem because I wasn't taking days that weren't mine. I was taking days, because I never took days off because I hated writing lesson plans for a sub. It's just, it's too hard to write lessons plans for a sub. If you're a teacher, you know what I'm talking about. You got to write every single detail about your day and who to watch closely and things like that. Let's see. Tony says, I'll do an audio about on one day soon, Sally. A podcast takes me too long to explain here. Okay. The grill. Okay. Um, hey, Kelly, Anthony says, and all things peace, pink and pasta. Hey, how are you, honey? I haven't seen you in a while. That's all. So we were talking about the reading. I don't know if you heard it, but it was talking about, God was saying about us being, in our busy lives and stuff. And I was talking about how that's been happening with Daryl and I, because he just like, he's in a rush in the morning. I don't know anyone that can just get out of bed, use the bathroom and just go. He doesn't even take a lunch. I have to like hurry up and put stuff in a lunch bag and give it to him because he's always in a rush. And this is like 4:30 in the morning. And he goes, I don't know why he goes to work so early, because I don't think he actually starts until 7, but he's the manager, so he they make like the boards for computers and stuff, computer boards. So I think he likes it because it's quiet there, and he can get some of his other paperwork done before everybody comes in, and always coming in his office, because he doesn't sit in his office. He's a hands-on manager. That's the way he always is. He just works too hard, and then he comes home exhausted. But yeah, I think that's like, it's so ironic how when I put my finger in a book, and usually it's something that has to do with something in my life, and I'm hoping that it's something to do in your life too. But it's crazy how, God is saying this here, because of all the things when the nun had, let me go of my job, which was my livelihood. That was with my little kiddos. I mean, I was devastated, not just because of the money, because I only made $23,000 a year. That was my gift to the church, because teachers should make a lot more than $23,000 a year, but it was a parochial school, and I went with it. So we stopped going to church because the priest wouldn't stick up for me. He was on vacation when Sister let me go, and when he came back, he says, I really can't say anything because she's in charge of the school, which was a load of crap if you ask me. But yeah, I lost my job for taking my mom to chemo. It wasn't like I was going out, bar hopping or something. Let's see, I'm missing some of these messages here. Let's see. Kelly says, luckily I have 2 teacher assistants in special ed. They know the classroom, so I don't have to write sub plans. Last year my son had surgery. I know, isn't it hard to write sub plans? But see, I never had an assistant ever in my whole, even when I had 35 kids in my classroom. I never had a sub. I mean, a assistant, which was hard. She said my Pink Impossible said my hubs is the same, working hard. And then Kelly says my dad is in poorhouse, so I might have to take time off this year too. Well, you probably have a union or something. I didn't have that. That's why I made $23,000 a year. Yeah. So I know it's not right. And I fought, and I got a lawyer, and they had better lawyers than me, so I went on, and I ended up getting another job in the diocese somewhere else. And I was there 2 years, and because the Catholic schools here in Pittsburgh are all closing down. I don't know about other places in the United States, but after that school closed, that's when I decided, went on the computer and I just typed in some stuff of, on some of the websites for teachers, and the one came of the same district. Two jobs came up that wanted me to interview. One was for first grade in one school, and one was for kindergarten in the other school. And of course, I picked kindergarten because it's my favorite, which I should have picked the first grade. But because the school that I went to, my partners in that were cray cray, but I won't go there. um, gee, Think Impossible says GM Music. I'm trying to figure out what I missed here. Teachers are starting to use Chat GPT for that. Obviously, I don't want to lean on it too hard, but it can help get the creative juices flowing. Oh, okay. And Tony, I want to call you Anthony so bad. Tony says, rough work, it's all about balance. Ecclesiastes, I always mess up that word. 8:15, a man has nothing better under the sun than to eat, drink, and be merry. For this will remain with him in you know what? My fat fingers. His labor all the days of his life, which God gives him under the sun. Yep, I do believe that. But I feel guilty if I don't pray. I don't know. Prayer is talking to and listening to God, and I'm talking to God all day. That poor man up there, or woman, if God's a woman, I don't know, but has to listen to me all the time. And I'm not always asking for something. It's always, I'm always like trying to figure out things. So I don't know. This reading was really something. I'll have to show this to my husband when he gets home, or I could probably just take a picture of it and send him in a text. Because it says, however, you have chosen the better thing, which will never be taken away from you. Moreover, as you walk close to me, I can bless others through you. I hope that's what I'm doing. I hope I'm blessing, you guys, because you're showing up here, and I really appreciate that. I mean, it gives me interaction with human beings. If you can hear my dogs in there barking, but I think that's why I liked working in a parochial school, because I could teach the children about God. Because when I taught in Idaho, it was a public school, and a lot of kids were like from Mexico were living in their cars, or there's maybe 5 families living in a little teeny home, like a shack, and to be exposed to God's word and things like that. They help them get through those hard days. I don't know. I just hope that the sunrise here and everything, and just speaking God's word, and I hope I put it across as God would want me to. But it always seems to have something to do with me, and I hope when I convey it to you, that you can find something that helps you through the day. Does that make sense? Oh my goodness. So I found this other book that I had, which was daily devotionals for peace, joy, and hope. And it's more like someone wrote letters to God, and I'm just going to pick a page, if you don't mind, and we can see, if it conveys the same thing that's it. It just says, my great God, sometimes I hesitate to receive joy from you, even though I know you have limitless supplies of it. Please help me to receive your joy in full measure, opening wide my arms in your presence. I found that the more I rest with you, the more freely your blessings flow into me. In the light of your love, I am gradually becoming transformed from one degree of glory to another. Through the spending time with you, I begin to grasp how wide and long and high and deep is your love for me. Sometimes the relationship you offer me seems too good to be true. You pour your very life into me, and all I have to do is receive you. In a world characterized by working and taking, your directive to rest and receive seems too easy. However, I've discovered that there's a close connection between believing and receiving. As I grow to trust you more fully, I am able to receive you and your blessings abundantly. O Lord, I long to be still in your presence and know that you are God. In your blessed name, Jesus, amen. Oh my goodness, I just stuck my finger in there. Honestly, guys, I do not plan this stuff. I do not plan this. And then there's some readings underneath it. It says, we all, we all with unveiled face, beholding the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from one degree of glory to another. That's from 2 Corinthians 3:18. I pray that you begin, I can't read. I pray that you, being rooted and established in love, may have power together with all the saints to grasp how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ. That's from Ephesians 3:17. There's two more. It says, to all who receive him, to all who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. And that's from John 1:12. And this is one of my favorites. This one says, it's from Psalms 46:10. It says, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. You know, through the years, you know how as you're growing, you start to ask questions about God and things like that. Not that I've ever doubted God or anything, but you ask well, how do you know there's a God? Like, how do you know, or who is God? You know, like, who made God? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would ask when I was a teenager. And as I was teaching for years, it got kids were asking me. Because when I asked the nun that worked at my home parish, she said, God is and always will be. Okay, I get that. I understand. God is and always will be. So I asked my mom, I'm like, Mom, you know, about God. And she says, God is and always will be. Because my mom went to Catholic school. I'm like, was this what they tell people at, parochial school? God is and always will be? That's like a little bit more than that? I don't know. So I just couldn't tell my students that, it's just God is someone who loves you, who gave up his only begotten son. I would try to make it more, I don't want to say elaborate, I mean more, more depth to it. Does that make sense? You guys still there? I don't know, I didn't want to just tell my students, God is and always will be. That's not enough. It's like whenever I was told, what prayers I had to teach the children, I always tried to teach them a little bit more, because in another 2 years they'll be making their communion. And I'm teaching them, they had to memorize prayers. And that's one thing about the Catholic Church, you have to memorize the prayer. But when they would say, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Well, these little kids don't know what hallowed be thy name means. So I would go and, take it apart for weeks, just take the um, prayer, the Our Father, and explain to them what each of these words mean. So, yeah. Uh, oh, I do have message. This thing isn't moving with the messages. Oh, Heather's here. Good morning, Heather. Okay. Good morning, Mike and Heather. And then Anthony says, Sally, I think everything is man. Woman, man with the womb. Okay. And of course, man, I may be wrong, but I sense that the word man is referring to the species and not the gender. Um, Pink Impossible says it does help, Sally. Thank you. Um, and Mike says, or Tony says, hey, Mike. And Heather says, hey, Mike and Tony, glad I made it to the morning. That was Heather. P.S. Hey, Pink, too. um, Kelly says, hi, Mike and Heather. And she says, hi, Kelly. Heather says, hi, Kelly. Oh, there's my girl, Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly. Kimberly, did you get your floors swept and mopped? Then Anthony says, hey, spouse, wife, hope you're keeping well. Yep, she's there. And let me see. Can't believe I didn't. These aren't moving. They're like not moving. Good morning, spouse, wife. So Heather said good morning to Kimberly. And Pink Impossible, she says, Jesus' disciples asked him questions all the time. I don't think he minds as long as we come with the right attitude. Yeah, I wasn't like when I would ask, I wasn't being a smart aleck teenager. I was just like, well, how do we know? Kimberly says, hi, Tony. I'm good. Thanks. How are you? And then Tony says, yes, Pink, exactly. And then Kelly saying hi to Kimberly. And Tony says, I'm still around, spouse. That's a bonus. Yes, it is a bonus, Tony. Good morning, Heather. Impossible says, hi. Good morning, Kelly. It's from Kimberly. Oh, hello, Tatum Barnes. How are you? I was chatting so much about the word, and I left behind here. And Kimberly says, hi, Pink. And then Heather says, hey, Tatum. And Kimberly says, hey, hi, Tatum. Hi, spouse, wife, and Tatum. And finally, Heather says, good morning, Sally. I think she forgot about me. That's okay, Heather. And Kelly says, hi, Tatum. And Kimberly gave me a purple heart, Sally, purple heart. That just makes my heart melt, Kim. Then she says, I have my volume all the way up on my phone and can barely hear you, Sally. Oh, okay, let me see here. Oh. Is anyone else having trouble hearing me? I do have a big mouth, but I try not to talk too loud. But I guess it's 6:40 now. They're up by now, the people. Because Daryl was out here this morning. Can you hear me? Oh, the birds are so loud. Okay. Well, we're at 4:30 in the morning, and he's out there telling me. I said, "Are we going to put the cardboard out this morning because it's garbage morning, garbage day, whatever you want to call it?" And he's like, "No, it's not bothering anybody." Well, it's bothering me. I'm trying to get that. Heather, am I trying to get that garage cleaned? Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking low. Um, Much better. Okay, Kimberly. Thank you for letting me know because I had no idea. But I usually do talk loud, but like I said, it echoes off the house and over there. But did I tell you guys that Carol across the street with the tree, she called me the other day. Kelly says, I have AirPods, but before that, I could barely hear you. Okay, let me know next time. Say, hey, dummy. But Carol called me, and there was like something going up on the cul-de-sac next to my house here at the top of the hill. There were like two police cars, an ambulance car, an ambulance, and she was asking me if somebody up there had, I don't know, committed suicide or something. And I was down in the basement in the game room, and I was doing laundry and stuff, and I can't hear anything when I'm down there because my friend Danny's like, "Are you down in the dungeon or are you upstairs?" You know. But I was down in the dungeon, and I can't hear stuff, and I'm not like, even though my friend calls me from Bewitched, the what's that lady's name? That peeked out the window all the time. They call me that, but I do not look out the window at people. I'm not that old yet. Um, hey Mike, the bike dasher, how are you? Uh, I'm wearing headphones, no audio issues here. Sally, maybe when you get some spare cash, buy a little Bluetooth. I have one. I have one. It's not open yet. I had another one and I tried to charge it and attach it to my phone, and it wouldn't attach. But I do have one. I have some new ones. Um, yeah, I do. I have that. Mike says, I'm fine, having some morning coffee before I hit the road. How are you? No, Mike, don't overdo it, okay? I know you're a hard worker, but I mean, you work all day, you go to the gym. I mean, you look really good. Um, you're really fit, but try not to overdo it, okay, honey? I just worry. He delivers DoorDash and other deliveries on his bicycle, and he goes a lot of miles. And he just got what is that called? Electric bike, Mike? By the way, Mike, you did help my brother with his problems with his bike. So thank you for doing that. Um, yeah, look at his muscle and salads. You do. You're very fit, and I just don't want you to fall. And I'm glad you wear a helmet. Because you don't want to go back to diapers, right? You know, when you hit your head, something like that can happen. Um, I just get upset when I see little kids riding little dirt bikes on the street here and they don't have any helmet on. And now I know that's a law for little kids to have helmets. If grown-ups don't want to, I mean, that's their prerogative. But so anyway, back to my story with Carol. Carol calls and she want to know the what is it, the 411? What is that? What do you people say? You young people say. And I don't know what's going on up there, and I hope nobody got hurt, but apparently, I don't know, she could see from her house because her house is at the bottom of the cul-de-sac and she can look up. Well, anyway, after we're done talking about that, okay, Heather, I'll see you in a minute. After we talked about that, I'm like, Carol, that tree looks like it had some damage the last time we had the windstorm. You might need to, to make it healthy, trim some of that tree. It's getting awfully big. So I just like, Tony says, I'll have to go for a bike ride with Mike one day. I'll have a rope tied to the back of his bike. He is, you have to check out, Mike, Dasher on, but, um, Mike the Bike Dasher. His channel. He does live. Oh, he's good. And wait, and not only is he delivering these big hauls people order, he fits them on his bike thing somehow and balances himself. Not only does he do that, but he's on a live session and he's answering our questions as we type to him. I'm telling you, he's Superman. I don't know if he's still on here, but I'm a big fan of Mike. He's a nice young man. Yes, he is. But yeah, so I'm asking Carol to. I know I said I wouldn't mention the tree again, but I'm just telling you what I said to Carol. And I said, the other day there was that big rainbow after the storm. Did you see it from your back deck? Because she has a deck back there, so she don't have a tree messing up her view of the rainbow or sunset and everything. So she's like, no, yeah, he is a, Kimberly says he's a talented fella. Yeah, strong as a horse. Um, but I was trying to get her to trim the tree, and I said, can't your grandsons do it? Because she has 8 grandchildren, and all of them are boys, and a couple of them are of age to drive and have jobs. So they cut her grass. So I don't know. Okay, no more about the tree. So anyway, we're not going to get the tree out of the way. So, boo-hoo. Yeah, but those readings, I can't believe these 2 readings. Like, I literally put my finger in there and pick a page, and both of them. How does that happen? I don't know. It's like my friend Tracy, when I told her to watch the video of Buttons from Heaven, the story I told about my mom, and it's a true story. And then she found a button, and she saw it just as she went to swipe her vacuum when she was cleaning for her friends coming to visit. She saw a button go up, and she said, "That cannot be a button." She got the video, her phone out, and she's videotaping, going through all the, the gucky stuff from the vacuum, the hair and stuff. And I'm just a big germaphobe; I can't do that. But she did it, and she found it. She found it, and she says, "A button!" And she sent it to me, and then she actually made a video about it for her channel. But she sent me the video of her going through that, and she's like, "Look, Sal, I found a button." I said, she goes, "Your mom likes me. She sent me a button too, Sally." So, I mean, but what I'm referring to is like these books, you know, had something to do with what I was thinking about this morning and talking about this morning. And then when I was talking to Tracy about the buttons, and then before Tracy went on her trip, she was folding cranes for people who have cancer. The people that she prays for, she folds these cranes. How people can fold paper and it looks like a crane. Well, she was going to visit her daughter last Friday in Idaho. She lives in California. And she got on the plane, and right in the window seal of the window seat, which wasn't her seat, but she was just looking out the window, there was a little tiny crane made out of a gum wrapper. It was tiny. It was probably as big as the tip of her finger. A little tiny one. Now, if she didn't get there early and get in that seat and find that, because there'd be someone else sitting there, she wouldn't be able to, reach over them and grab it. But she brought it home and she showed it on her video. And I thought, Tracy, you are so in touch, because she's looking for what, the universe or God is sending. She's, in touch with, learning all this, I don't know. She's just, she understands a lot of things that I talk about, but she found that little crane. It is so wild. And she found a button, so I don't know. So, yeah, that button video I have on there too. It's about my mom and the fact that I wanted her to send me buttons when she went to heaven. So, my rose bushes the rose bushes that I bought from Walmart because they were getting ready to throw them away, and I bought them for like, I think I got them for $5 because Walmart does not give anything away for free. They'd rather throw it in the trash. So these rose bushes were just like God wings. Yes, Kimberly, God wings. But I was out there yesterday with the dogs, and those rose bushes are still in the package. I guess from all the rain, they must not water those little clippings for the rose bushes. They're all growing. They're growing out of that bag. So I have definitely got to I'm going to put one more up here in the front. So I try to give them space. And I think that the 2 that I originally planted aren't doing so well because when I moved here, they used like recycled tires and things like that. And it was painted like the rust color, whatever color, terracotta color I used for, you know, to make it look like bark around the house, but it was made out of recycled. I think that the sun absorbed into that and got really, really hot, and it kind of like burned them up, because it wasn't just rocks or, you know, bark like tree. It was actually rubber, and it was absorbing all that heat. And I think that's what happened to those two rose bushes. They got shocked. And my brother always yells at me. He's like, "You have to cut them down at the end of the, you know, the season before winter comes." And I usually do that, and they do come back full, but I didn't do it this last year. I had a rose bush in the back, and I had to get one of those little lattice things to hold it up, because it was growing down below, but one sprout was like, I swear it was 8 feet tall, the one piece of it. And it would always have beautiful flowers, so I never trimmed it down. And he's like, "Why are you letting that grow so high?" I said, "Well, I have it put on, you know, tied back on that little lattice thing, but I didn't want to cut the flowers off." So um, we ended up cutting that down this like last year, so it'll grow. But I have these little mini rose bushes, but I planted them more in the shade, so they're not doing too well. So I'm gonna have to do another place. But I got all these hostas from this lady who was digging them up and getting rid of them, and she left them on her curbside. She says, "Come and get them." And I said, "Okay." So I had them, and I planted them in the front yard, and that's what the deer have been eating. And I'm so mad because I really had a beautiful, huge hosta. The kind that looks like it's a jungle plant with, like, it's green and it has white in it, like little like marble. They ate that, so I put this fence around it, and it's pretty high little fence, probably 2.5 feet tall. Now they're like going there where I have those rocks in the front. They're climbing over there like billy goats, and they're putting their head over that fence and eating them. Tony says, "Back. Sorry about that. I forgot to plug laptop charge lead in. Then it went poof, gone. But that's okay. I kept everybody under control." And now Heather's back too. So she had a phone call. It wasn't me. We can cancel the BOLO folk. What's BOLO? BOLO folks? We can cancel the BOLO folks. I'm not up on all these acronyms and stuff. The hubs. The hubs was checking in. Okay. Yeah, Jared always texts me when he gets to work. Be on the lookout. Yes, yes. Very good. Very good, Kimberly. I'm pretty lucky with that. I've had, you know who has trouble, Kimberly, is Paula, and somebody else has a lot of trolls. I forget who it was. But I don't know if it's the time of day that Paula picks or what, but I feel so bad because she has so many on there. Hey guys, thanks for hitting the like. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. What else was I gonna say? Those birds are loud. I guess because it rained all night and they're getting all the worms. Because sometimes when I go for my walk in the morning, well, it's early here, Heather, but like where Tony is, it's nighttime. So, you know, like we're all around the world. Um, but the worms, when I go for a walk in the morning when we have like the heavy rain, like the one that had the rainbow in it, it washes all the dirt and stuff down to the street. And it even washes like people who have gravel in their driveway. But when you go for a walk after a storm, you see little worms, little earthworms on the street, and the birds come down and free meal. They don't even have to work for it. They just go right down on the street and pick them up. So it's. Do you hear the owl? He just stopped. There's an owl, and I thought they only do their hoo hoo hoos during the Nighttime. You hear it? Is that an owl? Hey, I'm blue with a wrench. Yes, you are. Tony says, LOL, it's actually 11:56 a.m. Oh, I thought you were at nighttime. You know what that, you know who that was? Um, no, you're from the UK. You know, you know who it was? It was Karen. Karen is from New Zealand. No, New Zealand? She's the one that was at night when we were talking that one day. Um, I'm seeing the hubs off to work right now. Okay, honey, you go do that. That's your womanly duty. Multitask. Listen to me and take the hubs off to work. We have an owl that lives in our area. Now, Heather, do they do that sound in the day? Do you think did you hear that sound? Was that an owl? Or is that like, when I forget where I lived, but you know, like oh, New Zealand. Thank you, Kelly. You know, I'm old. I can't remember everything. But yeah, it was New Zealand. But when we lived, I forget if it was when I was a kid, we lived in, I think it was Minnesota. We had uh, a lot of woodpeckers, and they'd be at it, boy. And we had whippoorwill. You know those birds called a whippoorwill, and when they make their noise, it sounds like whippoorwill. Sounds like they're actually talking, like whippoorwill saying their name. I don't know. That's what it sounds like to me. Um, I call that sound a rain dove. We only hear the owl at night. See, that's what I thought, Heather. Um, I used to love Woody Woodpecker. Yeah, there's another cartoon. That was by no means a good impression. Um, yeah, my brother, my brother John, the one I his caretaker, he loved Woody Woodpecker, loved it. There's that cat. Do you see that cat? Yesterday, I chased that cat. I don't know if you guys can see in the camera the cat. Let me see if you can see in the camera. There's a cat on the street there. Can you see it going across by Carol's house? I thought that was Mister, and I had a heart attack. Running down the street after, right when oops, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to put this camera back where it was. Um, but I was running down the street, down that way, to that way, and I was trying to catch that cat, and Mister will come to me. I don't even have to pick him up. If I say, Mister, let's go, and he'll follow me back home. But Fifi is a little, kind of rhymes with witch, but it's itchy, you know. But she bites me. She's mean. She's younger than Mister, but she will not. She's a mean girl. But sometimes she'll just jump up on me, want me to scratch her back, and then she's nice to me. But this cat looks just like them. You know, tabbies mostly look alike, and I thought it was Mister because it was skinnier. Because Jake, my 15-year-old, is a Buddha cat. He's a fat cat, and now Fifi's getting fat because she's a little piggy. But anyway, it was a skinny, lanky cat walking down the street. But it would look back when I was calling it and run. And I said, that's not Mister. Mister wouldn't do that. And I was down there in all those yards looking for my cat because when I went back in the house to make sure it was my cat, Daryl had left the storm door open so the dogs had access to the doggy door. And I was like, how can he be so careless? And and so I shut that. Well, I had to leave this. What did I do? Did I leave this? I left the storm door open in case Mister came back, because when he goes on his little adventures, he just walks in like nothing happened. But I was so upset, and so I go back home. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to chase him all the way down the other side of town. So he'll come back. So I just worry. I'm not worried about him not coming back. I worry about somebody hit him with a car. So let me go back to these messages before they all go up there. Now they're moving. Kim says she loves owls. Well, you know why, Kim? I say it's old wise lady. I collect owls too, and I said because I'm an old wise lady. That's what it is. That's what it means. Heather says I call that sound. Okay, I see the rain dove, and let's see what else we got here. Tony says that was a good impression of Woody Woodpecker. I'm glad it made you laugh. Oh, there's Ray. Good morning, Ray. Dashing Womble is Ray. He's a dasher too. And his wife, Wendy. I talk to them when I can't sleep at night. Let's see. Tony says, hey, up, Womble. And Elizabeth says, good morning, Wimbledon. And Dashing Woman says, hi, music. And then, let's see. Heather says hello to Ray as well. And Tony says, I used to like the Wombles of Wimbledon, common, LOL. Mike Bat song. Good morning, spouse wife. I know Mike music. He's an alright bloke. Now, I forget, Ray, where's your accent from? Where are you from? Because Tony is from, Music Meep is from the UK. Where are you from? Like, you're in the United States now, but, your beautiful accent. I love your accent. Oh, you see that? Tony, do you see that? He's from Wimbledon. Wow. Now, Ray, is your wife from the United States or is she also from there? Kansas City, Missouri. I should have known, LOL. That's what Tony said to you. And then Ray says, hi to Kelly. So, Ray, where is your wife from? Is she from the United States or is she from... Okay. And you were here and that's where you met, or she met you there and she brought you back here? I'm just so fascinated by where people meet their significant others, their wives or husbands or whatever. I just love those kind of stories. You met online. That is where my son met his spouse, my younger son, Matthew. Yep. And they've been married, I want to say, wow, I think they've been married a long time. Let me see, probably about 10 years now. They were here 6 years. Then they went to Texas, probably over 10 years, because my older son's been married at least 12, 13 years. Ray says hi to Heather. You've got mail? Yes, you've got mail. We've been together 26 years. I remember those days when I was young and I was married 26 years. Now I'm an old fart. I'm married 40 years. Oh, I feel so old. Let's raise a little what's my husband say? A little whipple snapper as a young person. I don't know what he says. He makes up things. Just like I make up for my Basset Hounds. I call them Boobalubas. Where it came from, I don't know. It just came out of my mouth one day and it stuck. All my kids call them Boobalubas. Oh, yesterday, you're not an old fart, Ray. You're very young and very handsome. But I've never seen your wife. I'm sure she's a beautiful thing too, because if she got you, she has to be beautiful. But Daryl took Gabriel, my 10-year-old Basset. No, you're not. You're not 62. And I couldn't go with him because my tooth, where I got, those two teeth I just got done and they put the bridge in, the temporary bridge, and ever since the Novocaine wore off, I have such pain. Yeah, whippersnapper. That's what it was, whippersnapper. But now I vaguely remember because I took two, the I don't know if I'm allowed to say names of medicine, but I took one of the X names of anxiety pills, and then I took another one when I got there, and I was totally out of it. And I vaguely remember him telling me that you may need a root canal. And I'm like, oh, okay. When I left, and now I can tell that I need a root canal. He says he doesn't know if I need one on both sides, so now I have to go to the kind of doctor that does root canals. That's why he didn't do it. And this has been a long process. This whole thing with these two teeth, because I stopped going to the other dentist, and now I feel like all dentists are a bunch of wackos. But Tony says I've been in Plymouth since 1985, but I was born in Birkenhead. Heather says, I'm still waiting for that video, Sally, of the garage. Question of the garage? Or which video? Of the hairdresser? Of my hairdresser day? I have to get that edited. I keep telling Jerry we have to finish that. The dentist? Oh, the dentist one. Oh, of me. I'm so high off my rocker. I'll have to put that online. It is so funny. Because I'm talking to the camera to you guys, and that was right after I took the X medication, and because I never took two of those before, and because they don't have laughing gas there when you go to the dentist, but so what was I gonna say? I was off my rocker, and anyway, I'm talking to the camera. I'm here at the dentist, and my eyes are like, my one eye is like really weird. I'll put it on. I can't explain it. Thanks for the reminder, Heather. Ray says, very nice music. Plymouth is a good place to be, not far at all from my favorite part of the world. Have you heard any, Tony, don't you do music? You sing. I know you can play the guitar. I really think that you should do that podcast thing. That is so good. I know it takes a lot, but just turn it on and just start talking. Because you're the gifted gab like me. I bit my last dentist. Oh, well, I took those two medications. Then I didn't really tell them that I took two of them. And I kept falling asleep, and then I started snoring because I have sleep apnea. So I'm snoring, and they kept like, open your mouth, and they must have really had to jerk it open. And I swear that everyone at that dental office must have been in to take a gander at me, because I saw everybody looking at me, and I'm like, what's the matter with these people, But I was still a bit off my rocker, and then they asked me for the $1,000, and I said, well, you told me I could pay $500 first. When it comes to money, I'm not that off my rocker. I know that kind of stuff. Here comes the garbage, dude. Late 90s, I was sat in the dentist chair, and I asked, what are those red splurge marks on the ceiling? He replied, they're what's left of my previous patients. LOL. Well, that's not funny. I am deathly afraid of the dentist. Deathly afraid. I must have had a bad experience when I was a kid or something. But this dentist, this was a young dentist. He was about 6'8" or something, and I'm not exaggerating. And he has to like bend down over you. And he's pretty good looking, but I gotta watch saying that because I always get myself in trouble. My orthopedic surgeon, I said something, and now he won't even talk to me now. Oh my goodness. But he did numb it up pretty well. And the thing is, I said, well, since I didn't feel too much, then maybe that Novocaine is going to be on there for a lot. And um, but it came off pretty fast. I don't know what kind of Novocaine they use, if there's different brands, but I just like the laughing gas or whatever the official name of it is, because you just feel so relaxed just for that little bit of time. And I need that in my life. But I always fall asleep with that too. Of course, if I sit still, I will fall asleep. But when I try to go to sleep, I can't go to sleep. Well, I guess the point is I can fall asleep, but I can't stay asleep. Does that make sense? I don't get any sleep. I need to be put into a coma or something. I don't know. Um, yeah, early today. You know, sometimes the garbage dudes come at like 4 in the morning, and I don't have time to take other stuff out. But this is. I've been awake all night too. I didn't see you online. I was looking for you, and then I started watching Life After 55, Allison's videos, and I was doing laundry, and I was like, hmm. Then I built this little. The cats had a nice little. I got them a new mini tree thing for them, and Fifi always takes everything over because Mister is such a gentleman. He lets her. But so when she first came, when I first got her, she took Mister's tower, and he loved that thing. He was always on top of that tower, and she took it over, and he wasn't on it for a good month or two, but she always was on there. Probably because of the time of year. No, he does his. How many hours do you do a live at night, Ray? Oh, I was editing and trying to find some older music to use in my short videos. Um, I have that epidemic sound or whatever. Just the best. One of my friends told me about, because it has where you don't get copyrighted. Here they come. Every day that person turns on me. Every day. I'm starting to think that my neighbors look at me and think that I'm some kind of weird pedophile or something. Because I have my camera up at the. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that word. Jeez, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I'm some kind of person looking at people's houses, but I'm trying to get a view of no sunrise again. You see that? No sunrise again. All depends on how I feel. We had some bad storms here, and I couldn't hear a blasted thing in the truck where I normally do my live shows. It's going to be too wild with them coming. Thank you for all of the likes, guys. I really, really appreciate that. Let me try to put that on mute. Hold on. Put that on mute. Where's the mute? I had that on mute. Okay, Heather. Go ahead. I forgot you're going to the Barbie thing today. I think today's the only day I don't have anything. I have an eye doctor tomorrow, but I think I made it in the afternoon. Oh, hold on. Hi, Paula. I have it on mute because my garbage dudes are coming, so I didn't want to hurt your ears. So I think they're getting my garbage, and I have a lot of garbage because you know how I told you after Daryl leaves at 4:30, I put bags out that yes, I put bags out of stuff that he doesn't use, and I have to get rid of it. Let me put it on mute again till they leave. Okay. They left the cardboard boxes. I guess they expect the recycle guy to take those. So, yeah. So, good morning, Paula. And Paula is like morning. So, is it not a good morning, Paula? Or are you just. There's my girl. Hey, Red. Little Red, big smile. How are you, kiddo? How's England treating you? Heather is going to a Barbie exhibit. Yes, she is. She's been waiting for this for a while. Good, and Red says, "Good morning, Sister Sally. I love you so much. You know I love you too, honey bun. I love you." And where's that? Where's your other half? Where's Code? Is he at work? Yeah, Heather is going to a Barbie exhibit today. She loves her Barbies. Here comes. Oh, you know what? There's another dude coming. Um, Struggling but surviving. Thank you for asking. Comes in the kitchen. Coffee time. So, Code is struggling. You'll have to email me so I can talk to you on a private level. How about that, Red? Send me a letter in your email and we can talk. Heather says, "Good morning, Paula and Red." Good morning, little Red. My wife likes Barbies too, Ray said. And Paula says, "Love Barbie. We just lost our dog a few days ago, so we're having Red. Red, I'm so sorry. Much love to everyone in chat. I love you all." Red is such a beautiful person. Oh, these garbage dudes. She is such a beautiful person. Let me put it on pause for a moment. So they decided to back up the cul-de-sac. So I put it on mute for you guys. So Red, did you lose your dog like he got lost or he passed away? Please tell me he's just lost. Not that that's any better, but I love you too with all my heart, Red. No. You know, I was just telling them, and I had my 10-year-old Basset, Gabriel, at the vet, and he had problems. I think he's blind, and they said that he must have had some kind of something, a cyst or something in his eye, and so I was hoping that he wasn't getting ready to leave us either. Plus, he has a big nodule thing that keeps growing, but it's not cancer. But when I had my love of my life, Ezekiel, when I had his thing on his ankle, it was so big I had to put a sock on it because it would dry. Oh. This is like a war zone here now. You know that? Look at this. Got 2 garbage trucks. One's recyclable, one's a garbage dude. Oh my goodness. Now what is this dude doing? Oh my goodness. Um, the dog passed away. Okay, I got it now. I'm a little slow. Um, oh, okay. Where is he going with him? Okay, I'm back. I think they're done. I'm so sorry, Red, for their rudeness. The garbage dudes. Oh my gosh. Um, I would take you guys in the house, but Levi's having a tantrum in there, and that will kill your ears even more. Um, okay, Paula, go do your laundry that you didn't do last night. Okay, you better do that. So Red, please email me. I really want to be there for you because you've been such a kind soul to me, and you lifted me up when I was in a big old black hole. A friend of mine lost his doggy too a few days ago. He's never been so upset at losing his dog. It's so hard to lose a pet. Well, when my boys decided to leave me, because they were, getting married and such. I don't know why that made them not live in my house anymore. I'm kidding. But I ended up within a year, I ended up with 7 dogs and 5 cats. And I was not a cat person. I just needed to be needed so bad, and I didn't have a job because remember, I got fired from my job as a kindergarten teacher. And I was just so low, and those animals, you think 7 dogs sounds crazy. It's not, okay? Because they all got along, they laid together and everything. And I was so sad. I was in a deep depression. And it was just, because we got Damien, and then we were going home, and I really wanted Ezekiel. But Maddie really had his heart on Damien. And then my husband saw it, and he says, "You really wanted that one with the pretty eyes." And I said, "Yes, I did." Zeke had this little dot in his eye, like his color part of his eye. He had the most beautiful, like, they were green, but no, it was that hazel color eyes. They were so pretty. They didn't look like uh, dog eyes. They were so pretty. And he was considered a gray or silver basset hound, but you can't really tell unless the sun hit him. But he was a very rare basset, and he was Damien's brother from the same litter. And I love that dog sometimes more than I love my husband. And Daryl knows it. So there he is. Hi. Hi, 1111. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about your dog. 1111 code is Red's significant other. Hi, Mary. Hi. Red was just telling us that they lost their dog, and they're very devastated, and we're trying to, cheer up and we'll say prayers. But where is that? There's another garbage truck. I've been having trouble with the garbage trucks, and I can't take you inside because Levi is having this tantrum in there. It's so loud in there. Heather says, "Hi, Marion Code." Mary is one of the most beautiful people besides all of you. But Mary helped me so much when my channel was a little tiny. It's still tiny, and I like it that way. But she helped me get some really nice followers. That's where I met Mike the Bike Dasher. Mike was on here earlier, Mary. And that's where I met him, and I believe that's where I met Ray. Is Ray on your channel too, Mary? Because Ray's here. Um, I've had so many, the people that are Dashers are such nice people. And Red did the same thing. She had people, subscribing. But I always say, I don't want people to subscribe just for numbers. I want you to subscribe because you want to be there. And you want me to get to know you, because I if you would comment, I live to like 10 paragraphs talking to you. Let's see, Tony says, Womble, our local bin truck is driven by a woman. The back lane is 6 foot wide, and on a 180-degree turn, she backs that truck in with millimeters to spare. The first time I saw it, I was like, no. And then I said, Ray, I just love you. All of you guys that are here. Every one of you have touched my life. And like I said with these readings, how in the reading it said that God uses, He wants us to be used to not only follow Him, but to spread that into other people. And like I told you guys, I hope that's what I do. Tony says, hey, Dean. Is there someone named Dean I missed? Trying to figure out, oh, so that's your name code. He wouldn't tell me. He wouldn't tell me. And so my Anthony here. Oh, so now I know your name's Dean. I won't tell anybody. I gotta find out what Red's name is. Okay. Hi, over 60 Simple Life. I watch so many of your videos, I get myself in trouble and I'm late for my live. Have you seen the meme with a picture of hubby being allergic to the dog and she is rehoming the hubby? Yes. They made me laugh every time. Do you know what my husband tells his friends about when I love, I still love Zeke, but he's,